Good morning from Yami BTV again. Sending plenty of love your way as usual and hoping your day is going the best it possibly can. Now, I've been asked for quite some time and no time like the present, I say, of my part one of the legendary Marvin Herbert. There's a few things I want to clarify, especially as I'm in good form. I'm going somewhere big today. I'm going to let you know when it's finished, all right? So before I go on my travels again, I'm going to go into this. Some bits that I believe that you might not have known or you do. I don't know, maybe some of you are going to tell me because I haven't checked, but I'm going to go into first because that night in Ministry of Sounds when the thing allegedly happened with Marvin Herbert, Bernard Mahoney and Carlton Leach and that, I'll go into that in a little bit in a minute. What is definitely factual to me, when Marvin went to the hospital after that incident in ministry, there was one friend in particular I was really close to from school days, rest in peace, Junior McDonough, right? Stephen Charles was around that night as well. He used to live in Brunel Estate with me when I was in the children's home in Westbourne Park when that incident with me happened in that children's home, right? Bubs from Grove as well. Creed's brother was also in ministry that night as well, and a couple of places afterwards. And a couple from East London that I haven't really mentioned on Yami B TV yet that I was pretty close to in jail as well. But the incident I'm talking about, like I said, after he got stitched up, because he was getting phone calls from, I forgot the geezer's name, Sarnfield or something like that, right? Because they were saying Marvin, security ministry were trying to say Marvin was trying to rob the Ministry of Sound, basically trying to cover their backs, I suppose. And that's why they had to go on the way that they went on. And that, because when Marvin was leaving the ministry, if you come back here, you're dead and that kind of thing. It's the wrong thing to say to Marvin, obviously, because he's going to come back. He was out of his box that night, undoubtedly. That's definitely fact. Now, when he left the hospital, Marvin went looking for them, right? They seem to have done disappearing acts that night or that early hours in the morning. Marvin ended up in dungeons, right? I know this because I know that Linville Williams was in there and there's a geezer called Fitz Liverpool, right? I don't know him personally, but he was meant to have been the geezer that told Marvin or said to Marvin in ministry, Carlton Leach wants to have a word with you outside. This is after the incident in the toilet where geezers tried to take Marvin's watch. Remember, Marvin's allegedly put his hand up like that while he was going to wee-wee on Urina, and the geezers tried to take the watch from him. Marvin allegedly ends up stabbing him and another geezer as well. He's so out of his box, he goes on the dance floor. Tries to tell security, because Marvin's obviously thinking about covering his back. I've just tried to be robbed, and, and even in his state of mind, he's thinking, I better say something, otherwise I'm going to be in a bit of shit here. So allegedly he told Bernard Mahoney, listen, I'm in a bit of trouble, and Bernard went the other way on him instead of trying to help him or whatever. And two geezers, one from North London, was on the dance floor. They said to me categorically that Marvin plunged Bernard Mahoney. I don't know if you lot of it, I haven't checked at all, right? But it's interesting that if he had, but Bernard, again, has never accepted that that bit happened. But I've got two people that were definitely on the dance floor who say that it did. But I wasn't there, so I can't definitely say it did. But they say it definitely did, if you get what I mean, if we're to believe different versions of events. Now, he turns up in dungeons later on where he's doing the rounds trying to find certain people, which the Marvin Herbert that I used to know would have been doing after such a big incident in ministry, and that he sees Fitz Liverpool because he thinks it's him that set him up in the ministry, right? To go and get basically done by Carlton Leach and co. Because I'm hearing at the door before Marvin could react, or as soon as he walked through the door, he got clumped. I'm hearing that Marvin went into his balls, his pants, to get out a Derringer, right? And then got hit again, and then he got a blade, and it was all scatty and everything, man. It's some, in them moments like that. And no one's invincible in this life, which is why I don't understand why certain people don't ever say it didn't go right for them. It went this way and went that way, which Marvin Herbert was when he said it didn't go quite my way. It went my way on certain things, and where he was brutally honest and brutally frank by certain things. But his recollection is going to be a bit funny because he was totally out of his box. Now, the geezer, Fitz Liverpool, Linville Williams and all that are in dungeons and they're breaking up because Marvin said to me, set me up, man. You know, like that kind of stuff. Fitz going, no, Marvin, I didn't know. I didn't know what they were going to do. I just thought they'd use me as a decoy basically to get you out there, and I fell for it. And I'm sorry. But Linville Williams and a few of them other Leytonstone, man, that I knew from way back in the day and still know a little bit, they were breaking it up. Say, Marvin, nah, ain't that, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So you're asking me about what I know, and that's what I've been told from people that were around that night. It's very interesting also to know that just not long after that, because I used to hear about Trident coming out, which was I think it was a black and black crime police organisation, right? Because Trident came along. There's a lot of gun crime from all different sides, especially London, Manchester, and everywhere like that. And they started telling the doorman security, if this man comes here and that man comes here, you're not to let him in. You're to let. So that gave the security more power. So I don't know whether you lot knew that, but I remember that bit this morning as well, because that's round about the time they came on the scene, if my memory serves me correctly. Don't worry, you lot will let me know about that. But that's how they began to have the upper hand and that kind of thing. And the other thing worth noting as well, ministry and places like that were meant to be alcohol, without any too much alcohol or something. What's the name of the term? And you know what, can't remember all of it. But it's interesting they used to let all the crates, bring people like Marvin and all that used to be able to, big players in crime that in them days would be able to bring crates of champagne in and that kind of stuff into those raves. They used to allow all that, and obviously you must have been getting something out of it. Or even, like I was saying, it's the difference between security men and gangsters, basically. I'm hearing ministry used to pay their security men £80,000. I don't know if that's true, but that's a lot of money to pay out for venues like that. Especially as well, you've got to remember they're at risk of being robbed, which would mean those raves, why they would be employing certain security firms as well, not just to mind the doors and keep out the trouble and keep out the thing, but ultimately gangsters different from doormen. In my opinion, Marvinherbert was a badder man for that life, for them kind of geezers. Undoubtedly, mate. There's no if or buts about that. It can't be bargained with. I told you a long time ago that he was in our area way back in the day. He was pulled in, I know of, for at least 3 murders, allegedly. He was pulled in, undoubtedly. So I don't go for the Google about 25 murders. They've done that with me. Remember, there's another man saying up there that I threw bombs in cars that someone attached to my name. But Google say a lot of things that are not quite right. They say 24 murders. Uncle Yami says I know of at least 3 with Marvinherbert where his name got called in the mix, but undoubtedly probably wasn't him. Anyway, so people are going to pull scorn on certain things and knowledge and things that I've got. My memory is absolutely bang on at the moment. Uncle Yami says, no, those are definitely facts to Marvinherbert's life. Have I forgot anything out of this video? Because I'm just freelancing this. But that definitely happened in dungeons. A lot of my lot were around from ministry that night and blah, blah, blah. But I am looking to bring a couple of people onto the show soon to shed light on some of the things I've just said there. Have a good day. I'm going to be up probably in again shortly as well. Loads of love.